introduce myself again. My name is Ria Carta. I'm the head manager for Block Cineman Jakarta and Innovation Factory. And today we're very happy to have Mas Yahya, the lead AI engineer from Cool, to give a brief sharing, well, not brief, but like give a sharing about what is big data and AI. And just for everybody to know, we will have a presentation from Mas Yahya, then about 40 minutes. Then we will also open to Q&A, which you can add either in the chat or the Q&A session. And later on, we'll have an open question for everybody. So thank you, everyone. And maybe I'll pass it along to Mas Yahya to introduce himself and to start with our session today.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope all in good state and in a healthy state. Okay. Before starting to the material, please let me introduce myself. My name is Yahya. I am AI engineer lead in Clue. And yeah, I have a bachelor degree in engineering physics from Universitas Gadjah Mada. That is one of university in Indonesia. In past 1.5 years, I developed various intelligent video analytics engines using AI with my team, that is AI team. And we developed some, if you ever heard about facial recognition, people counting, people line counting, people intrusion detection, that's a sort of artificial intelligence application examples. And if you are curious with my profile, you could visit my LinkedIn profile or my GitHub if you're curious about GitHub. Okay. What we learned today is about first we would like to discuss about AI or artificial intelligence and its evolution, and next we will talk about AI implementation around the world. And then we would like to discuss about AI, how AI could accelerate the development in Indonesia, and how Clue using AI solutions to help government fighting the pandemic. Okay, let's get started. Okay, before talking about AI, first let's talk about big data. Maybe you already familiar about big data, but what actually data could be called a big data. Yeah, big data is characterized by 3 V's of big data. The first one is the volume. It's like how big the data is, how big the amount of the data. The amount is not just the size. For example, if you have for each entry of data is just 1 kilobyte, for example. But if you have 1 billion of them, yeah, you call has characteristic in volume of big data. And yeah, in terms of volume, the data can be saved in records, tables, or files. Then the next characterized is the velocity, how fast the data generated. It is generated in real-time manner or offline manner. Yeah, no, doesn't matter. But if the generated data is really fast and it is growing big really fast, it has velocity characteristic of the big data. And the next one is the variety. Variety is the definition of variety is if you have the data and you could get insight or have the ability to classify the data or to predict with data, get a big picture what happened in the data. If you could categorize it into several categories, then it has several variety. Yeah, data can be in a structured or unstructured manner. Structured, for example, tables, time series data, and unstructured, for example, image, videos, audios, and many others. And yeah, data can be human generated. For example, user behavior when visiting a website, or it can be machine generated. For example, barcode reading in retail stores. Okay, the next one is what is AI? maybe you already yeah have a comment about artificial intelligence, but what is artificial intelligence? Here I get a definition from John McCarthy. He's father of AI. He was the first man who defined artificial intelligence. Yeah, artificial intelligence is actually science engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. But what intelligent? How we can call a program is have intelligent. So let's look into another definition. Okay, here I get definition from Darrell M. West, is expert from Brookings Institution. AI is a machine that responds to simulation, and it has human capacity for contemplation, judgment, and intention. The key point is the system AI uh, can make decisions which normally require a human level of expertise. Yeah, AI has three qualities that constitute the essence of artificial intelligence: intentionality, intelligence, and adaptability. Yeah, the three qualities. The first one is intentionality. AI must has design with an intention, and it must reach decisions or conclusions based on the input they get. Uh, it is different with passive machine. If you know, the example for passive machine is like calculator or sorting algorithm. It has predetermined responses, so that cannot be considered as artificial intelligence. And often AI using real-time data. Nah, that's one of the quality. And the next quality is intelligence itself. Intelligence is the ability to compile decisions based on number of different considerations. If you take example, for example, if we take autopilot car, maybe autopilot car, if he want to give decision when he want to put a gas, brake, steer left, steer right, uh, it must have different considerations. For example, how is the condition of the road? Does the road any pothole on the road, or maybe car in front of it? Yeah, this very much considerations before taking conclusion. And it is often undertaken in conjunction with machine learning and data analytics. And the next quality is adaptability. Thus, the system has ability to learn and to adjust circumstances, and if the condition shift. For example, in real implementation, if we take an example in image classification case, for example, if we want to classify cat versus dog, and yeah, in the implementation, we will train AI system using a set of data set, and we separate the data set into three categories: train, validation, and test. We train the AI system in with the train subset of the data set, and we consider validation and test was never seen by the AI. So the AI, if it has adaptability, ability to adapt what it never see, and it could classify cat versus dog in image that it never see, that it has this characteristic. So AI must fulfill these three qualities that constitute the essence of artificial intelligence. Another example, if you like to watch YouTube, YouTube usually give you video recommendation. That is AI. Okay. Before talking the evolution of AI, first let's talk about several main research areas in AI, because AI itself is really a broad term it has many specific research areas. According to the Elsevier, Elsevier is Dutch publishing and analytics company that if you like to read papers or journals, proceedings, you might find in Elsevier. According to Elsevier, they using AI to map AI. Yeah, that's quite funny. Uh, they found there are 7 main research areas in AI. One of them is computer vision, and include we for now we interest more in computer vision. So I will talk about the evolution of AI in computer vision area. Okay, but first, what is computer vision? Computer vision by definition is a field of artificial intelligence, yeah, you know, that trains computers to interpret and understand the visual world. Uh, yeah, artificial intelligence has a subset. There are, maybe you will find AI algorithms that is hand engineered, or it is by using machine learning. But what is machine learning? Machine learning is an algorithm of AI that it able to classify what with given input. The input of the algorithm is the feature, and the output is a label. For example, in classification case, for example, if you want to classify whether this picture is a car or not, then you need to first manually extract the feature of the car. For example, car should have circles, that is the tire, and it has shape like maybe a box like shape, or many others it has windows and many others. And you give the data, you has the data, you has the feature of the cars, you has the data, what is the labels for the features, and you put that your data to the algorithm, to machine learning algorithm. So the machine learning algorithm could learn itself how to classify features of cars into labels of cars. And we have deep learning. Deep learning is subset of machine learning. Deep learning is an algorithm that instead of manually extract feature, how we let the algorithm itself to extract the feature from, for example, in computer vision case, image. For example, if we had a picture of car and we just have the label of the what is it is car or not, and we have so many data, a billion, maybe a million, and you put your data into the deep learning algorithm so that it can extract the feature of the car, so that the machine get better insight how to interpret an image into features, and it is able to classify the image into the label. In past 5 years, yeah, basically computer vision algorithm mainly based on convolutional neural network. But what is convolutional neural network? I give you a brief picture. You has a filter, we call a filter. It is actually a matrix. For example, matrix 3 cross 3 in term of dimension, and it has depth, for example, 10. And you have an image, then you image maybe full HD image maybe, and you get that small filter, and you pass this filter, yeah, you slide that filter with a slide, and you slide just an image slide, and then you get the activation map, and you slide it again until it is getting small with having a greater insight, but losing the spatial resolution. But in the finally, you could do the depending on the computer vision task. There are so many computer vision tasks. For example, just about what I give you. For example, the image classification. we use computational network to classify whether an image contain a person or not, or to classify whether it is person or another object. And for example, there's object detection where you can localize where is the object, and there is instance segmentation where you could better get the localization of the for each instance in the image. And next example is multi-object tracking. You get video and you want to track whether this person is the same person with the previous frame or the next frame. That is multi-object tracking. Before using CNN, computer vision algorithm is mainly based on machine learning algorithm. You ever heard super vector machine? We just flatten 2D image or 3D image into one dimension, and we put that into into SVM. And before machine learning, some of them computer vision algorithm using hand engineered algorithm using human knowledge. For example, the Hawk transform circle detection. If you just browse, you'll find that circle detection using Hawk transform is based on human knowledge about in understanding of circle. Yeah, in fast here, yes, it is basically using CNN. And yeah, the future of AI, yeah, it could determine in several areas. For example, in safety and security, it can improve safety and security by this example I take example using computer vision application. For example, we can track and monitor whether this contain threats or not, and we can get analytics. For example, the visitor of a retail store, how many of them, what is the gender. That is really difficult if we don't use AI. And or if you use human, for example, the security officer, they can manually. That is a really complicated task and time. Okay, the next is in automotive field. You already heard about self-driving cars. Yeah, that's quite. Uh, and in healthcare, we can utilize artificial intelligence, for example, to diagnose quickly, guess what is does the skin has cancer or not, for example, or other disease. And in robotic field, we can utilize AI to for example, to in assembly line, for example, does this product has anomaly, has defect? If it is defect, then the robot so take the defected product and then repair it. And in retail, there's maybe possibilities, for example, self checkout, maybe that you don't need to key yourself into for checkout. And in financial, for example, we can predict by using historical data to predict how the stocks market maybe. So you can better invest the stocks. Okay. Okay, before talking to implementers, is there any question? Okay.
I think we have two questions in the Q&A. Do you want to answer it now, Mas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. The first one, I think, is, since we introduced the topic of AI and big data, right? The first question, between AI and big data, which one is the most widely used in Indonesia, and why is it used so much?
Between AI and big data, yeah? Yeah. Actually, AI and big data, they are like just sister. We use AI and big data because nowadays AI we mainly using machine learning or deep learning, because if we use hand engineered algorithm, it is relatively difficult to find for complex problem. For example, just to classify whether a picture contain a threat or not, the gender of each person maybe. it is really difficult. So we use big data. We compile various data, for example, pictures from various places, from various public space, and we label for each the image, and we get the image, we get the label, we get thousand of them, million of them, and we put that big data into the AI system so that the AI system can learn and get insight what happened in the image, and it can conclude uh, for the that for image that it never seen before. So basically, we use both.
Okay, so for AI and big data, we actually use both of them, right? For
Yeah.
both the big data for the data input and AI to actually to process it. If I got it like that. Just a follow up maybe to for this question, like between AI and machine learning, what is the difference? I think you gave gave an image of within the artificial intelligence and machine learning. What is their main differences?
Okay, yeah. I already described before. The
Yeah.
difference between machine learning is that machine learning you need to extract features from, for example, an image or an audio, and you need to manually extract them and before putting into the machine learning algorithm. But in deep learning, you simultaneously do feature extraction and classification by the algorithm itself.
Okay, so for machine learning, you actually have to extract it, right?
Yeah, manually.
Manually, okay. Well done. Deep learning, they learned it themselves?
Yeah, deep learning itself. They extract the feature. Yeah, just like for this example, you in feature extraction, we can extract features, an image of person, for example. Then you can represent that picture into one dimension of vector.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe just a last question before we move forward as well, because you gave examples of AI usages, right? How do traditional businesses adopt AI in their business, and is it expensive to start adopting AI? Yeah.
Okay.
Because you gave the example of retail and finances, and those are like very traditional businesses, right?
Yeah, I think if we talk about in Western country or maybe in more rich country, they adopt AI. For example, the Google itself or Amazon, they are using AI to know how the users, the behavior of the user, so that can get more engaged with the user. But in Indonesia, there's technological lag. But for now, some of the companies aware with the AI, the uses of AI, and the possibilities about big data and AI, and it can help the business for better, better efficiency.
Okay, so traditional business would use it, but to better their efficiency. To focus on that. Yes. Yeah, I think we can continue to the next part. I see there are a lot of questions, but we can move it along as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The next is we will talk about the implementation around the world. If you ever heard about AlphaGo, that is an AI that developed by Google DeepMind. It is basically a company from United Kingdom. It is basically a computer program that combines advanced tree and deep neural network. And it is trained into several games of Go games. Go is a board game coming from, I think, China, maybe. It ran into several games and to understand the reasonable human play. And then it is trained using itself, that is called reinforcement learning, several thousands of times, so that the algorithm could learn mistakes from the game. Yeah, and it was matched with Lee Sedol. Lee Sedol is 18-time world champion in Go games, and when the AI is matched, the AlphaGo matched with Lee Sedol, Yeah, it beat Lisi Doll in 5 games. It won 4 games, and yeah, what is special about Go Games? Go Games is yeah, it has 10 to power of 170 possible board configuration. So it is a quite big, really big number of possibilities. So it is cannot be solved by using yeah yeah, by the result of the match. It is clear that AI could beat the human intelligence by playing the Go games. Yeah, if you uh, consider the three qualities that I described before, it has intention to play Go games, and it has intelligence that actually proven by the match, and also in the last part, yeah, uh, it really, yeah, just surprising. Okay, the next part is yeah, in the Tesla Autopilot. It is an artificial intelligence from United States. Yeah, it is quite popular. Actually, it is combination of artificial intelligence and computer vision, and also it is combined with sensors to get insight from the surrounding environment. Uh, yeah, I have described before in this autopilot cars. Then you has so many considerations whether the car should brake and gas and others, and you put that all data in real time and you get a conclusion based on the real time data so that it can solve driving. Yeah, that is quite AI. And the next part is yeah, from Indonesia we has Clue Vision. Clue Vision has many products, including face recognition, people counting, and many others. And we utilize deep learning algorithms and some of machine learning algorithms, and yeah, some of them using non AI. For example, we convert an image into grayscale image that don't require artificial intelligence. For example, we has people line counting engine. The intention is to count how many person passing a certain line, and there's so many factors affecting performance, so that we cannot hardcore how the behavior of this system to count people coming in and coming out. For example, they have variation in CCTV placement, variation in the lighting, variation in yeah, pose, human pose, or maybe yeah, and many others. And in the component we has in the computer vision task we can separate into the object detection task and tracking task, object detection and multi-object tracking task, and we has the counting algorithm itself. Okay, the next example is the facial recognition system. We want to recognize whether who is this image, whose face this is, so we can get understand who passing, for example, passing this area. And yeah, the most difficult part in developing facial recognition system is how we avoid racial bias, how we avoid gender bias, how we avoid age bias, and mostly most of them is about bias. So it is basically yeah, it's just the quality of the AI itself. We should consider the quality of the data too. Now, if the data has so many variety of the data, that we need to yeah, has so much variation as much as possible, and the data itself so have a big of in terms of volume, and yeah, the system is generating data in real time. And yeah, for example, if we put this data into retail market, then it will get generate so many data for each second. Okay, so how AI can accelerate the development of Indonesia? Yeah, basically AI can transform in several areas in country development. For example, in agriculture, we can use AI for better farming. For example, we can better to consider whether we want to plant vegetables or fruit or what can the specific of vegetable by considering different factors, for example, the soil, weather, and the economic itself, and so many others. And in social, we hope that AI can transform social behavior for a person. For example, they should never drive motorcycle in pedestrian. And in economy, uh, I think that AI can predict, for example, we can use the historical data, the economical growth of a country in terms of microeconomy or macroeconomy, so that it can predict, for example, future price, future product, and for example, the next example is you can get insight, for example, in good stock, how we manage goods stock in retail when we want to restock a product or another product by using data, the behavior of the visitor or the buyer, and so on. And in healthcare, AI can be utilized to help the doctor to get insight. Just for example, this is X-ray or MRI. I don't know. I'm not a healthcare person, but you can get insight if we put human knowledge. For example, this part short contact disease because it has anomaly. So the AI can help the doctor to highlight and where is the part that has disease. And in safety and security itself, we can utilize AI to better, for example, to help the police officer to better monitor public areas, public space. And in education, indirectly, AI can boost its citizen to get better education. If they want to, for example, make AI and want to utilize AI, they should get better education. And the next, how AI can help government to solve pandemic. We developed some products. This slide is I took this slide from Mas Rama, he's the CEO from Clue. We want to help the government by developing some AI analytics engines by utilizing computer vision. For example, we want to do the body temperature analysis. It is we want to analyze. The main symptom of the COVID-19 is the temperature of the body is increased. So we want to utilize and integrate them with facial recognition. For example, if we detect a person that has high temperature and we want to know who is this person and we want to quarantine them. And the facial recognition itself, it can be integrated into national database, so we get information where he's living and maybe but we need to we need to protect this facial recognition, so never get into the wrong side of hand. So maybe this system can be utilized by the police officer or the government itself. And the next is crowd analysis. We want to identify whether, for example, there are in Indonesia, there are, I think, because I never going outside, I think there are some public areas that is not closed. So we can utilize existing CCTV to do crowd analysis to detect whether this place contact a crowd or not, so that the security officer can tell the crowd that we should follow the guide for social distancing. And the next is the mass detection. We has mass detection to analyze whether a person is wearing a mask or not. Because one of the guideline is that a person when going outside is need to wear a face mask, whether it's just cloth mask or medical mask. And then the others is vehicle detection to analyze the traffic. Yeah, we hope that we can support the security and safety enforcement because the the president of Indonesia Jokowi said that everybody who is going out of home are mandatory to wear mask. And in Aceh, if the citizen doesn't wear face mask, then it will get fined. Yeah, we hope that we can utilize AI to help the government to enforce the guideline, the security and the safety. And we hope that AI, by using AI, we can increase the citizen awareness to wear a mask and to follow the guideline given by the government. Because this is quite shame that Indonesia, some of the citizen is really stubborn. Some of them going outside, going to public place without without following the guideline given by the government and not using the face mask. So we hope that by utilizing AI, for example, we put CCTV, for example, that monitor some public areas, and we put a caution sign. This area is monitored by artificial intelligence, so you must follow the guideline. If you don't follow the guideline, you will get fined or get punished. So we hope that by using AI, we can increase the citizen awareness to follow the guideline in this situation. So in summary, today we have learned about the definition of big data and AI, also its evolution in specifically computer vision area, and its implementation by various private companies around the globe, and how AI can accelerate the development of Indonesia, and how Clue is helping the government by using AI to solve the pandemic. I think that's all. Let's move to the next section, the question and answer section. Thank you.
Okay, Mas. I think that was pretty interesting. We learned a lot as well, other than how the AI is being used in industry, but also how Clue is using AI and big data in supporting the government during this COVID. I think we can go straight to the questions, and let's see. I think this is a typical question that you would have in any conversation about AI and in like how it's affecting our daily life. Is there AI will overpower human in the future? I feel like this is something that we should ask. It's a good question.
I think not for now, because if we talk about the overpower human, so that AI must have we can call general artificial intelligence. That in GAI, general artificial intelligence, just like human, they can doing general tasks to see and to hear simultaneously and to move their body parts. But for now, the integration is really complex task, and it is. I think it is almost impossible if we can, because for now we can control them. We can control the adaptability, and if I look into the research, some of them researching about how they want to build AI that can solve general, but I think it is really difficult for now. I think no.
Yeah. I think this is a question that needs to be fast and pro, and I think I agree with you. I think AI has been helping us to make, at least in the industry, to make it more efficient.
Yeah.
And also, the overpowering might be in movies, but who knows?
Yeah.
I think so good. Yeah. Maybe in something in line with what you just shared, as well, how Clue is helping the Indonesian government with your AI technology. How is AI business right now in Indonesia during this COVID-19? Is there, I assume there is more demand in this industry, and how do you think it will change after this, the COVID-19, how AI will be used, or how people understand AI
Okay.
in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The implementation of AI is really broad
Mm-hmm.
implementation.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe already see the prediction about the growth of the COVID-19, the growth of
Mm-hmm.
the spread. And
Mm-hmm.
the next example, for example, is that yeah, in for nowadays the industrial, for example, in the manufacturing, it is yeah, if we utilize just utilize human to to solve the
Mm-hmm.
manufacturing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is really fragile because yeah, yeah, you know that almost all of the manufacturing is going down by just this situation. And I hope that by using AI, we all the industrial on the manufacturing industrial can help the people to utilize AI to better do the manufacturing. For example, uh, in manufacturing, for now, in traditional manufacturing, you cannot do remote working. For example, if there is a machine who need that need repair, the engineer need to going to the site and need to repair themselves. But we hope by
Mm-hmm.
using AI and, for example, AI implementation in robotics, we
Okay.
can we can use that robot, for example, to to help the engineer, so that engineer don't need to go to the site and then just to control the robot, what they need to do to solve the problem in the site. Yeah, we hope that's soon be implemented.
Yeah. So I see that AI can benefit the manufacturing industry very well. I guess in an efficiency, and as you said, how remotely, how the engineer can sing Jakarta and they can control the robots remotely. What other industry do you think will be helped by the AI after this?
Yeah, I think the other industry is in retail industry, because
Mm-hmm.
retail industry, because retail is really has big 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 uh what is, because transaction is basically one of
Mm-hmm.
the human basic needs. We transact
Mm-hmm.
every day with another human or with retail. And by implementing AI in retail industry, for example, we can do faster checkout or
Okay.
safer retail, that AI can monitor the behavior of the visitor, or maybe we can implement AI in e-commerce. E-commerce, I
Okay.
think e-commerce already implementing AI, for example, to do the behavior analytic of for each user.
Mm-hmm.
To For example, if you open your e-commerce application, then you
Mm-hmm.
might find some recommendation,
Ah,
and
yeah.
when you search what you want to buy, they will give you recommendation what is the most
Mm-hmm.
reviewed products, or what is the most rated product. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the next industry, I think, healthcare, because by using AI, they can help the doctor
Mm-hmm.
to better understand what is the disease. Uh, Instead of they giving just by using their knowledge, they can get a second opinion from the system, the AI system. They can get recommendation what is the disease. And the next industry, I think the safety and security, because yeah, we cannot hire as many as possible police in Indonesia. For example, Indonesia is really a big country, big with big areas. We cannot monitor for each citizen. So I hope that by using AI, we can monitor the for each citizen, so that we can increase the safety and the security in our country.
Okay, so I see that AI is used to help leverage and enable like what was usually more labor intensive activities, as you said, retail or security, right?
Yes.
How about, there's a question maybe in line with this about the industry. How about the forestry and agriculture field industry? How do you think this will benefit this, especially in production?
Yeah, by utilizing big data and AI in agricultural or in forestry, the forest owner or the crops owner can use the data. For example, they has data in various condition of weather, various condition of soil conditions, and what is the most promising plants that you can grow in the forest or in the crops. By using the data, you can, for example, to increase the productivity of the crops or the forest.
Okay. So it is productivity. It's more productivity and efficiency as well. I see a lot of questions who are industry specific. I think there's a lot of people who are in the goods and agriculture industry who's interested in how they can use AI in their businesses. There's a question to add into your productivity and yield. What are the technological limitations of AI in this type of agriculture businesses? Do you see which limitations are maybe technologically, or maybe geographically, or maybe just user usage in terms of limitations? Yeah.
Okay, for the limitation in agriculture or in forestry, I think the first really basic limitation is the data itself, because to build AI that can adapt and can solve the problem and to have the intelligence itself, it requires data, because without data we cannot, we just can't build the AI.
True.
Yeah, that is the really basic limitation, because this AI, this and big data, it is just I think not booming just 20 years, and we don't have that quite much recorded data already present, so that I think that's one of the limitation. And I think the next limitation is depends based on the intention. What is the AI want to use to do? Because AI is really broad. For example, if you want to classify or to predict whether this crop will be success or not, or whether how about the productivity in the future, depending on the soil condition, for example, you need to data itself, and depend on the use case.
Yes, so I guess this is also applicable to all of the industry. The data needs to be there before you can apply the AI, right? So, okay. Moving on, maybe we can talk a bit about your career as an AI engineer. I think there's a lot of people who are interested to be an AI engineer. And this question from somebody who's like, what skills or what it takes to become an AI engineer? And there was also a question like, what kind of like qualification you need to have to be an AI engineer? It's a personal question to you, Mas Yahya.
Okay, I think the first thing you must have is you need to understand math. Yeah,
Okay.
basically math.
No, it's
Yeah,
icon in AI engineering.
yeah, calculus, and calculus, statistics, linear algebra,
Okay.
and yeah, so many mathematical implementation because
Mm-hmm.
the AI algorithm mostly, yeah, because it is basically based on computation. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to understand the basic about the AI computation done in the AI, and
Okay.
you need to learn programming. For example, you need to learn how is the basic for to do programming, the data structures, the algorithm itself. How do you implement algorithm from math problem into programming problem? That's one of the skill. And yeah, for better understanding in the market, you better get just a little is okay. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the management skills or market skill that you can feel the what is the most fields that require AI that has uh, big require in AI.
Okay. So mathematics is very important. I think that's the key that
Yeah.
I have to keep note. Mathematics is very important. And yeah, what interests you to enter the field of AI engineering from your side? Like,
Okay.
uh,
Okay. What makes me interested in AI? Right.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. When I was in college,
Uh-huh.
uh, I learned. I think not that's what before that. I really
Mm-hmm.
like to see the world,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I like to see the world, and I'm really interested. Yeah, how I see and how I look the world, how I
Mm-hmm.
can recognize whether this is an object or not, or just a background, and
Uh-huh.
I can this the categories the for each object by the
Mm-hmm.
visualization. For example, I can different for each person by its
Mm-hmm.
appearance. I'm interested in that, and so when I was in engineering, I learned much about about mathematics and about algorithms. So I think the computer vision field I
Mm-hmm.
learned from the college, I think it has a good feature because basically human
Mm-hmm.
the most basic sense of human is vision. We see
Mm-hmm.
every day, we
Okay.
see every time, and yeah, it makes me really interested into AI, especially in computer vision.
Observation, yeah. Yeah, maybe just to also expand a bit on your role as an AI engineer in Clue, there's a question like, what AI projects that Clue has accomplished in both private and government sectors? And I think you briefly touched upon it with the current COVID-19 initiatives that you guys are doing with the government. And also the second question as a follow-up is like comparing to overseas research, has there any Indonesian AI research that has been used globally? So it's a two-parter. Like what the first one is like what AI projects at Clue, or maybe you personally been involved in. That will be interesting. And also how it is in the global market. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, about the products that help
Uh-huh.
current government to fight COVID-19, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I already shared you before.
Yeah.
I think I'm sorry, I'm lost with
Uh-huh.
the the presentation. How do I? Wait a minute. I need to share the presentation. Oh, okay, I can share the presentation. So I
Uh-huh.
will just describe.
Uh-huh.
The first product is the we doing now is the body temperature analysis. Yeah, the
Okay.
body temperature analysis. Uh, oh, I think I get it. I'm sorry. Let me share
Yeah.
my screen. Nah, can you see
Yeah.
my screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are 5 products. we are in development, and in I team itself for now, the facial recognition and vehicle detection itself is already present, and for now we are doing working on body temperature analysis and mass
Mm-hmm.
detection. For the body temperature analysis, we basically we detect for each face, and uh, after we detect for each face, we do analysis the temperature by using the face, and the part is in the face detection part, because
Okay.
we need AI to localize and to detect where part of the image that contain face. And the next one is the mass detection. After we detect and localize where is the uh, part that contain face, we want to classify whether this face wearing a mask or not. Uh, if we use not using AI, it is really difficult to solve that. And by using AI, by using specifically deep learning, we can uh, categorize whether a face is wearing mask or not wearing a mask. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the some of the product that Clue is working right now.
Okay. And how about the utilization? Is there any Indonesian research that has been used globally or vice versa?
Yeah, about research, I think we can separate this AI into
Mm-hmm.
research and into the engineering or the implementation.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the middle, that is the research engineering that bridge between the research into the engineering. In Indonesia, I think when I look into several papers, there's not much research in Indonesia that research about the computer vision field or in AI field, because I think I read some news and some articles that Indonesia has technological lag if we compare Indonesia with another countries. But
Okay.
in the implementation, there are several. I think there are so many companies that uh, engineering with the AI, and I think that yeah, we, I think there's so many company in, for example, in safety and security industries like Blue, or in e-commerce. E-commerce, there's some big company that using AI to map the user behavior, or in agricultural company, there's so many. I think in medical,
Mm-hmm.
there are already, I think there's many company that already implement AI to do some analytics of the data.
Okay. And maybe to talk about the global AI industry and how it is like affecting Indonesia. Like, do you see what are the other than as you have mentioned before, like technology is one of the limitations of Indonesian AI industry. What other thing that you see will be moving forward? What other limitations or what other opportunities that you see coming up in Indonesia? Maybe not necessarily due to COVID, but just due to the acceleration of how we implement things right now in the country. Yeah.
Okay. I think for Indonesia, I think the limitation itself is
Mm.
the human resource, because
Yeah. Okay.
human resource in Indonesia that has good qualification for doing research for AI or the engineering for AI is really limited in terms of number. But I think nowadays AI term is really booming, and some of Indonesians already aware about AI and its possibility in the
Mm-hmm.
future. We
Mm-hmm.
can utilize AI for the mankind and to improve the overall quality of life. I think this is the opportunity of the AI. But the limitation is the technological lag itself.
Okay.
For example, if we Indonesia itself, the we really get difficulties when we want to collect data. Because I think Indonesia is a really unique country. For example, when I was developing in facial recognition, it is really difficult to get Indonesian face big data, and Indonesia itself, the characteristic of Indonesian faces is really different with Caucasian face or Asian face, because Indonesia is actually multi-race, and yeah, the data itself is really difficult to find. Yeah, I think the challenge is in the data and the human resource.
Yes, the challenge in the human resources and the data.
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe through this talk today, we'll find new people who are interested in being an AI engineer. So that'll be great to help with the human research. Yeah, maybe since we're closing in already in an hour, just from your side, do you have any other statement that you want to share, or any kind of advice for people who are interested in AI engineering or as a expert, and maybe who are interested maybe knowing more about Clue and what you guys are doing? Yeah. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think AI is not an alien. AI is not a strange thing that you should avoid. Yeah, AI is actually I think it is our friend that it can help us to better have better quality of life, because if we utilize AI is another tools that we can utilize. If we can utilize a tools, for example, if you utilize a knife in the right way, it can help you to get, for example, a tasty cook. But if you don't utilize a knife in the right way, it can get someone away. AI same. AI is if you utilize AI into the good things, it can help the mankind. It can improve the quality of life. Also, also to learn AI, it is actually not difficult. If you want to learn about AI, there is plenty, so much resource, so much articles in the website you can find. There are so many article writers that talk about AI in several different research area, whether it is in computer vision, in natural language processing, and machine learning itself, and many others. I think you can learn it yourself if you want to learn more about AI, how we implement the AI, what do you need to get started into AI. You can find them in website. It is really easy to find, and I think AI will not overcome human in the near future.
Okay, back to that question. Okay, I think we would need to close this session because we're already running in 1 hour. I see there are still a lot of questions that are open. Maybe we can schedule another session, or we can see figure out how Mas Yahya can answer this. I think there are a lot of interesting ones. Also, this is broadcasted in the Facebook Live, so we'll see also how is everybody going there. Hopefully, there might be some questions there, and I will figure out how to answer you guys. Just to close this, I would like to thank you, Mas Yahya, for your time today to help us learn about big data and AI, because personally for me, it's a lot of new things, and it's really cool to see what Clue is doing with the COVID, with the computer vision as well. And thank you everyone. And maybe we'll take like a picture, right? This is like the normal thing to do in this like webinars, to have pictures with everyone. Yeah. Maybe Agustin, can you help?
Yes. Okay, maybe you guys can smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you everyone. I hope I'll see you again, and bye-bye, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mbak Vidya. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, yeah.